It had been one of those weeks where the internet didn't even need coffee to wake up. The drama alone was enough to keep everybody up for days. Everywhere you looked, somebody had something to say about somebody else, and no one was holding back. The shade was flying like confetti, and I was right in the middle of it all, trying to keep up with the latest clips, interviews, and social media meltdowns. First up, there was that brand new scene from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, that had the group chat on fire. Maro had just been on Gayle King's podcast last night, and the way people were breaking down every sentence he said, you would have thought it was the Super Bowl halftime show. We were going to get into all of that, but then my phone buzzed. Again, now there was a sneak peek from Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, the episode airing tonight. And you already know I'm 10 toes down for that franchise. That's my bread and butter, friend. But let's not even pretend. The real shocker was Shakira, yes, the same one folks have been calling strong face behind her back, opening her mouth to call Scrappy a trick on camera. And she wasn't just throwing a word around. She went right for the jugular, suggesting that Britney, the realtor girlfriend I've actually been hyping up for months, was nothing more than an opportunist, the kind of woman you describe with words I can't even repeat without risking demonetization. And here's where it got even messier. Mama Dee was sitting there looking like someone had just questioned her parenting skills. She wasn't having it. She reminded everyone that she raised her son to be a hustler, to think smart, to know the game. She didn't say pimp outright this time, but we all knew exactly what she meant. In Mama Dee's world, Scrappy shouldn't be anybody's fool. He should be the one calling the shots, not the one getting dragged in the streets over his love life. And while the Love and Hip Hop drama was already juicy, my mind started wandering because there was another story dominating my notifications, one that had nothing to do with reality TV but had the same level of mess. Donald Trump had decided to take a swipe at Gayle King, and the internet was not letting it slide. First it was Charlemagne the God he was throwing shade at, now Gayle. It's like he was on a one-man mission to pick fights with every journalist who might dare to challenge him. The story started with a piece about CBS, where Gayle anchors the morning show, saying the ratings were slipping. Normally, that would just be network business, but Trump couldn't resist. He reposted the article on his page and then added his own commentary, flat out declaring Gayle's career over, period, like he was stamping a final verdict. He claimed she should have stuck by him, said she had no talent, no ratings, no strength, and basically asked, who even is she? It was messy, unnecessary, and exactly the kind of thing that gets people talking. And in true internet fashion, instead of focusing on the fact that rent is still sky high, groceries are borderline luxury items, and gas prices still make you think twice about spontaneous road trips, everybody was suddenly debating whether Oprah would step in to defend her best friend. Because if there's one thing people love more than celebrity beef, it's seeing who stays silent when their friends are under attack. Some folks brought up the old rumors, the alleged ties between certain big names and the infamous Epstein list, saying maybe Oprah wouldn't want to draw more attention to herself. Others thought she'd stay quiet simply because it's politics and she's not trying to go to war with Trump. Either way, it was giving the kind of tension you can't script, and I was here for every second of it. But then, like clockwork, the basketball wives crowd decided it was their turn to steal the spotlight. This time, it was Ming Lee who had everybody clutching their pearls. She hopped online to basically say that Chantel was lying through her teeth, and not just lying, but lying in a way that set off a chain reaction of drama for the entire cast. If you've been following, you know Jackie Christie has been at the center of a family storm for months. The slap heard round the set, the whispers about lesbian narratives being forced for storyline purposes, it's been a lot. But Ming came in with that calm, almost surgical kind of delivery and said point blank, Chantel owed people an apology, and she was the only one with the courage to publicly say so. And you know what? I respected that, even though I've had my own choice words for Ming in the past. I had to admit she wasn't wrong. She pointed out that Jackie had told the whole cast she didn't want to talk about certain things on camera, and yet the women kept pushing anyway. And then Ming dropped the real kicker. Chantel herself admitted she had gone in and lied to the other women just to turn them against her mom, Lee, on purpose. And then tried to laugh it off like it was nothing, and now that it's out in the open, suddenly all these people who played into it are backpedaling, but not Chantel. No, she's still standing 10 toes down in her own mess, not even pretending to be sorry. So of course, now we're wondering, will she come back with some new spin to keep herself looking like the victim? Or will she keep leaning into being the villain? Because either way, this is the kind of storyline that makes sure your name stays on everybody's lips, whether they like you or not, while everyone was still buzzing about Ming Lee dragging Chantel. The love and hip-hop chaos took a sharp left turn, and this time it was Mama Dee and Shakira running the headlines. Now, you know Mama Dee is no stranger to controversy. She practically built her reality TV legacy on being the mother who will step into her grown son's mess without hesitation. But this time, she was standing across from Shakira, the woman. Fans call baby mama number 3, and the tension was thick enough to slice with a butter knife. In the new clip, Shakira looked dead serious as she told Mama Dee that Scrappy was out here spending big money on Britney while giving her next to nothing. And she didn't just say it in passing. She hit him with the ultimate insult in her world, calling him a trick. That's not a small word in this circle. It's basically the verbal equivalent of a drink toss in the face. Shakira was painting a picture where Scrappy was whining and dining Britney, showing up with flowers, spending thousands, making her feel like the leading lady in a music video, while she, the mother of one of his children, was stuck chasing down coins. And here's the thing, Mama Dee didn't flinch. She came back with that old school energy, reminding Shakira that she raised Scrappy to be street smart and not let himself be played. But if he was choosing to spoil Britney, that was his business. In Mama Dee's world, love and loyalty don't always line up with logic, and sometimes the heart leads you to do foolish things with your money. But of course, Shakira wasn't about to let it go. She started pulling out receipts, saying that she had been over at Scrappy's house doing Bombi's kids' hair, 3 children in total, while Scrappy was out on a date with Britney. And not just any date, we're talking about the kind of date that comes with giant flower arrangements, luxury touches, and enough romance to make Instagram swoon. It was messy on so many levels because the optics were terrible. Imagine being in someone's home, taking care of their kids, only to watch them walk out the door to spend the evening with someone else. Social media was quick to divide into camps. Some people felt Shakira was justified in being upset, saying Scrappy was disrespectful for leaving her with the kids while he courted another woman. Others rolled their eyes and said she set herself up for that by even being there. And let's be honest, part of the tension here is that this isn't a clean co-parenting situation. There's history, there's emotion, and there's the undeniable fact that Scrappy seems to know exactly how to keep every woman in his orbit just invested enough to keep the drama alive. Then there was the twist nobody saw coming. According to Mama Dee and Shakira, Britney might not even be the polished realtor she markets herself as online. Now, I'm all for a good side hustle, and I'm not here to knock anybody's grind, but they were hinting that Britney's main money might actually come from being a bottle girl at a strip club. Whether that's true or not, the way they said, it was dripping with shade, and you could practically hear the producers salivating at the chance to make it a full-on storyline. Britney, for her part, has kept her social media classy, posting real estate-style shots and keeping her personal life low-key. So hearing this accusation was a curveball. But reality TV thrives on curveballs, and here's where the hypocrisy really started to show. Shakira could shade Britney all day, but the truth is, she once had her own fling with Scrappy when she wasn't the main woman either. People in the comments weren't letting her forget that. It was giving glass houses and stones, and the memes started rolling in before the scene had even fully aired. What really made the scene stick though, wasn't just the personal insults, it was the quiet lessons buried underneath the mess. Mama Dee might have been talking trash, but she was also sliding in a reality that a lot of women don't want to hear. You can't depend on what you do in the bedroom to make a man stay. She didn't say it in those exact words, but the message was clear. If a man wants to be somewhere else, he's going to be somewhere else, no matter how much history you share or how much you've done for him. And Shakira, whether she realized it or not, was giving the audience a live demonstration of why mixing personal emotions with co-parenting can be a dangerous game. Every look, every side comment, every sarcastic laugh was a reminder that sometimes the fight isn't even about the kids, it's about who gets the title, the attention, the validation. And in this triangle, or square, depending on how you count Bombi's role, that title seems to shift every season. But one thing's for sure, with Mama Dee still in the mix, Britney holding the girlfriend spot, Shakira refusing to back down, and Bambi living her best life on trips, there's no way this saga is slowing down anytime soon. By the time the Mama Dee and Shakira drama started to cool down, the internet had already shifted gears to another battlefield, love and marriage, Huntsville. And this one was a different kind of messy. It wasn't about roses, bottle service, or Instagram perfect dates. It was about loyalty, timing, and whether some people have the right to talk when their own house isn't exactly spotless. The clip that dropped showed Maro and Maurice sitting with Ken, and it was clear from the jump that this wasn't going to be a friendly chat. The energy was sharp, the smiles were tight, and every word felt like it had an underline under it. Maurice wasted no time telling Ken that, in his eyes, he was the bad guy in the situation. The reason Trish is still legally married to Marquez and Ken is in the middle of it. He didn't sugarcoat it, didn't dance around it, just said flat out that if something happened to Trish tomorrow, the first person everyone would call is Marquez, not Ken, and as much as that might have stung, he wasn't lying, even Maro, who's been eating up his screen time this season like shrimp scampi at a buffet, nodded along. He pointed out that Trish's son, Xavier, is especially close to Marquez, and on the first day of school, it was Marquez who picked up his daughter. In that sweet little video he posted, those small moments, Maro was saying, tell you everything, Ken might have the house and the current title of boyfriend, but in the bigger picture, he's still a side character in a story that started long before he came along, and here's the twist. While Maurice and Maro were coming down on Ken for interfering in someone else's marriage, the internet couldn't help but point out the double standard. People remembered that Maurice himself started dating Kimmy while he was still legally married to his ex, Cayenne. It wasn't some ancient rumor, it was on the show. And yet, here he was, trying to hold Ken to a standard he hadn't met himself. Ken, for his part, didn't just sit there and take it. He clapped back, saying he wouldn't take relationship advice from men whose own reputations on the show were built on cheating allegations. And he wasn't wrong. Fans haven't forgotten the times the Scotts' marriages were the center of the drama, or that unresolved moment in the jewelry store when Maro and Tysha hinted at a separation but never told viewers the full story. That's the thing about reality TV, the past never really stays in the past, and any moment can be pulled up as ammo in a new argument. But under all the shade and side comments, the conversation revealed something real about Trish's mindset. Even Maro, who doesn't hand out compliments easily, said he didn't think Trish was settling for Ken. He thought she was simply enjoying her freedom. After being with Marquez since high school, she's in no rush to get married again. She wants to date, to have fun, to have someone like Ken pay the bills and keep things light, without signing up for another lifetime commitment just yet. And honestly, that tracks. The way she dances, flirts, and jokes on camera gives the impression she's in her I do what I want era. The problem is, while she's living her best life, Ken's catching heat from everyone around her, and he's stuck defending a relationship that might never become what he thinks it could be. In the end, that's what made the scene so layered. It wasn't just a group of people arguing. It was a collision of different definitions of loyalty, love, and timing. And if there's one thing we've learned from shows like this, it's that no matter how much people say they want to stay out of someone else's business, they'll